Hello guys, welcome to my another video of problem solution in HackerRank. So let's start. Here you can see that there are some tools are being shown here. One is sum tool, another one is product tool. And before I go into that, uh, go into the our topic in details, this let me tell you that this problem is all about the numpy array. So here the sum tool, what it does, you can see if you are given a two-dimensional array and you use numpy.sum my array and axis equals to 0, then it will give you the output as 1 4 and 6. That means this one and this 3 will be added, and then this 2 and this 4 will be added, and the result will be 4 and 6. That means axis 0 here is indicating that operation will be done in terms of the columns. And similarly, if you do the same thing, but if you mention axis equals to 1 instead of 0, then it will do the same operation. Instead of doing it in terms of the columns, it will start doing the calculation in terms of the rows. So this one and this two will be added, and this three and this four will be added. So the result will become 3 and 7. As you can see, the similar thing is over here. And one thing is that if you don't mention anything in the axis, then it will take by default as that all the elements as their additional, and I mean they will add all the elements. The array will add all the elements. Similarly, the product tool is PROD here is indicating the product. That means it is the multiplication option. Multiplication operation. So here you can see, similarly, if you indicate PROD instead of sum prod, then it will, and mention axis equals to 0, and then it will start uh, multiplying the elements in terms of the columns, like 1 into 3 and 4 into 2, it will be 8. And if you mention x is equals to 1, then it will do the operation in terms of the rows. And similarly, if you don't mention anything, it will multiply all the elements in the particular array. Now let's come to our problem. Here the problem is, you are given a two-dimensional array. They have said that the array dimension will be 2. So here you can see they have also given the example with the two-dimensional array. So one easiest way to understand whether the array is two-dimensional or three-dimensional or one-dimensional is that this number of braces, that is this brace, like if it is 2, then that means it is a two-dimensional array. And if you see that there are three braces over there, then it will be considered as three-dimensional array. So next, uh, your task is to perform the sum tool over axis 0 and then find the product of that result. So suppose, let's see the input format, then we will be able to understand in detail. So see the sample input format, 2 into 2. That means the array dimension will be 2, and the elements also will be 2 inside that array. So next is the elements of the array. So 1 and 2 is the first two elements of the first array, and then 3 and 4 will be the next two elements of the second array, like this. The similar thing they have shown here. So now what you need to do is, you need to add these elements, perform an addition operation in terms of the columns. That means 1 3 and 2 will be 2 and 4 will be added, which is why they have mentioned that axis should be 0, and find the product of the result. And so see, if we first add the elements in terms of the columns, then we will get 4 and 6. This one will be added to this 3, this 2 will be added to 4, then it will be 4 and 6. And if we do the product operation, then it will multiply 4 and 6, it will become 24. So the output is 24. So now let's come to our coding. So first, here they have said that the first line of input will be containing the space separated values of n and m. That means n will be the dimension of the array, and m is the elements. number of elements in the array. Okay, so let's first define. Okay, before defining the variables, we need to import the array, the which the HackerRank already have shown us. I mean, already have provided this particular code. Like we have to import the numpy from the numpy library in Python. Next, we will be defining our variables in a name. I'm taking the same name as mentioned in the problem. So here I'll use map in, then input, then split, because the input should be splitted. S- you need to have two two inputs. So I'll I have defined our variable in a name with this. Next, what we need to do is that we need to define our array. So I am giving my array name over here as simple A. So I'm taking the name as A, or better I will write my array or array only. That will be easier. So array here equals to, we'll have to define our array. So I'll copy it from here, numpy array, and here what I need to do, since array is indirectly a list, so we need to define our inputs inside a list. So here I'll say list, sorry, list list will the thing I'll copy here. Same thing I'll copy from here, and one more thing I'll write over here is that our for loop, for which the input will be taken from the user. For I in range of, because see here our next line will contain inlines m space separated integers. So we will take the range till n, or no, n minus 1. That's fine. Here the brace should be closed. Okay, so see, until that we have defined our two variables, that is the dimension of the array, and another one is array, where from where the input will be taken from the user as the number of elements. I mean, if the user wants to, whenever the user wants to put number of the number of elements, the user will be able to do that. So since our operation will be based, I mean, will be a product and sum, so we will so I have, that is the reason I have defined my variables and also my array as an integer, not as a string. And that is the reason I have also used here map to define that all these two variables will be in the form of integer, not in the form of string. If I don't use this map int and only use this input dot split, it will do the same thing, but instead of taking the variables as an integer, it will take it as a variable, I mean, as a string, which will not work over here. So next, what I am going to do is that Still now, this whenever it will be taking the input from the user, it will be only defined as an one dimensional array. So but our problem says that the array should be two dimensional, so now we will be changing the dimension of our array. And for that we will use a particular method. I'll name this new array as array1 is array dot, we will reshape that, reshape comma n, n comma m. So in this way I can reshape my array. If I want my array as a two dimensional or three dimensional, it will convert the this one dimensional array to my desired, I mean, to the dimension of the array depending upon the values of these two variables n and m. Next, what we need to do, we need to perform the addition operation first. So let's do the additional operation. So first we will do the addition operation. It is, let's give our variable as name, that is s array is equals to, I'll copy the command from the above to cut short the time. It says that we need to add the elements with axis y. So instead of my array, I'll write their array only. So that does the addition operation. And finally, we have to, as we have to print our product, so I'll write print, and inside that base parenthesis, I'll write my comment as, because I don't have to mention any rows and columns because it wants me to multiply all the elements inside that array. So I'll do the same. So I need to delete this print and product of, because this is my S array, sum of array. I need to do that. So that is it. Let's try and submit it. Let's see if it works. My internet is a bit slow. Sorry for that. It's taking time to process the output. Oops, it is an error. Cannot reshape array size 2 into 2. No output is there. Let's check my code from here. Okay. Let's now try, because it says it cannot reshape. Yes, now it has worked. So I'll submit my code. Let's check whether all the test cases are cleared or not. Actually, yes, all the test cases are cleared. Actually, I already tested this same code in my collab notebook. This is my collab notebook. I'll show you. Yes, I'm showing you. So this is all. This is now working. So thank you for that. Thank you.